That's squeezing one out in Nordic.
Yeah. You got anything to say about that?
You give homeless people the olives, right?
I give. That's right. I do. I totally do.
My name is Jermaine Fogterius. I'm Jerry's younger brother.
That's fucking unbelievable. We did share a pizza, and that was cool.
Did it taste like young cum?
It did.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. Stop it.
100%. Cheers.
We're back. Thank you very much for joining us. I cannot believe we get to have him again. Please put your hands together for the one and only David Nathaniel Rutherford Jefferson Cross. I always like to do the full name.
DNRJC. I had to sit there and do the alphabet math in my head.
Worst Daddy in the World Tour with special guest Sean Patton. Hilarious Sean Patton is kicking off. And you can get tickets right now at officialdavidcross.com. That's awesome. Go. He's fantastic.
Sean's great. And also great hang, too.
Yeah. Isn't that the most important thing in the world?
It's, yeah, if you're going out, I mean, yeah.
That's what I pick when people are like, who do you take on the road? I'm like, well, of course, like, when they go, are they fun? Like, of course they have to be funny. Like, this, we're doing funny shows. These are haha shows.
Well, there's two things. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. It's that, and then like, can I spend time with this person? That's the majority of it.
Yeah, it's important, and you want, but he's also like the perfect kind of energy and comedy to ramp into my stuff. Like there's tons of great comics, and I've taken some out, but just his specific skill set, quality, great stuff, because he cracks me up too. But it's also the style. And he's a heterosexual white male, and I wanted to give them a chance.
And also a lot of, we're getting shut down. The media
canceled.
We've been canceled.
Canceling white.
And it's all of a sudden it's like all about broads now. So no, I feel like obviously when there's a person funny, it's a even bigger bonus if the first comic, the opening comic, also, like you said, kind of sets is a good compliment to what they're gonna see with you.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, yeah, but we're gonna be like whatever, on a bus or in a plane or backstage and having meals and all the time. And if this person
having meals, Tom, right? Yeah. I don't
breakfast,
eat with the help.
You don't eat.
You don't? I don't sup with the help.
No, never.
No. I let them taste my food first.
Yeah.
Then I eat.
If it's gross, you're like, you take it.
Yeah. Or if I get a bad bowel, and then they go to the side and eat it.
No,
that's cool. In a box. I bring a box for them to eat inside of.
I've been doing this thing for years with homeless people where I'll give them olives. Like, I don't like olives. So if I get something with olives on it, it'll look like I'm gonna give them the food, and then I'll just take the olives and go, you can have these. And then I go back.
Do they like the olives?
I don't care. I don't stand to watch. I just kind of let them have, I put it in their hands.
Green olives or black olives or Kalamata?
You know what's very interesting about olives to me is that I enjoy olive oil, and I enjoy like an olive tapenade, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But I don't like eating whole olives.
Is it the texture?
I feel like the taste is like the texture, but the taste is too strong. I like it dialed down, which is what you get.
So get shitty olives.
How do I get shitty olives?
Get a can. Okay. You get a can. Go to get the cheapest olives you can.
So I'm buying too high end of olives, basically.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So get a big 5-gallon thing of shitty olives,
and then I can enjoy those.
Go to shittyolives.com.
Okay. Can you guys pull that up?
Go to shittyolives.com. Tell them David sent you.
Yeah, and do they get a discount?
Yeah.
Oh,
actually, you have to pay a little bit more, and then I get that money directly.
Hold on, writing it down.
Shitty with 3 T's.
3 T's.
Olives.
Okay.
Dot, but you have to spell dot. It's not the period.
Dot.
Com, and it's CALM, like be calm, remain calm. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the advice, man.
You got it.
So yeah, you don't eat with the help, but if they're good to be around, it changes the energy of the whole tour.
Totally. Yeah.
I've had people, oh my God, they said there's no album behind you.
Huh?
David, We always have an album here.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the... Do I pick something out?
No.
What do we got?
Sonic.
No.
Hold on.
Maybe. Got something in the late 70s, early 80s punk files. Yeah. Well, MF Doom is okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Him again.
No. Oh, him again. Just give me something and I'll...
It's going to go here. It's going on this side.
Oh, all right.
It's your episode, so...
Okay. Well, dude, we're going to be here all day. All day. Can somebody run out to...
Oh, okay. Closest to punk. Come on.
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, for sure.
All right. Go. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right. Now, from the top, because you fucked up. Guys, welcome. David Cross is on tour with special guest Sean Patton. You can get tickets at officialdavidcross.com. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tom. We're not really going to start again, are
No,
we?
no,
Okay,
no,
great. Fantastic, because I don't have much more to offer. I was about to leave.
I don't like olives. You got anything to say about that?
You give homeless people to olives, right?
I give. That's right. I do. I totally do. They suck. So you were at Big Fat Bert's place, and you you enjoyed
Great guy.
him.
I liked him a lot. I'd never met him. Enjoyed. Here. Part of this was, I am most likely going to do a podcast myself, and I've been sort of doing this round with that in mind. I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a relatively new thing, but it's been enjoyable. Doing Your Mother's House was great. That's
yeah.
the most I've laughed in
That was
90
so
minutes
fun.
in a while. It was really fun. And just doing press and promo stuff. This is so much more. I mean, every aspect about it is we're having a conversation. It can be funny, it can get poignant at times and real, and it's just so much better than, doing a whole day of like 12-minute interviews with local papers and stuff where they, it's like
It's the
Olympia, Times is calling you about. Everybody's asking the same question. Then you go out and you do whatever.
Dude, sorry to cut you off, but it reminds me of another bit of yours that is burned into my memory about the horror of morning radio. Because we all know and then you go there and you're like, it's this fucking, I forget the name you gave.
It was a Zoo Crew.
The Zoo Crew, but you gave a name. You gave them like character names,
right.
like Woody and the Beaver or something. and then you're like, oh hey, and they're like, all right, it's time for the Friday morning fart song. You're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be involved in that.
And you're drunk when you go there. They're used to getting up at 5 a.m.
every day,
and being sober and coming into the studio
and they're hearing
doing
a
all that
horn
stuff
every few minutes. They're really up.
And you have been. You've gotten 3-4 hours of sleep. You get up, you're slamming coffee. You're still drunk, and you have to go in there. And these guys, and it's not the same sense of humor. There's nothing funny about it, and they've got all that energy too. And they're bouncing, feeding off of each other. This guy's nuts, and they get shit wrong. This is pre-Wikipedia,
Totally.
so they have half of your credits are wrong. And now you did something funny. Oh, what was it? You did something funny about some sneakers. I don't know. Maybe I can't. What are you talking about?
It's the worst.
And then they get angry at you for not playing along.
They
so
do.
This is way preferable.
When I have two that come to mind. One was. Actually, 3 of these. One of them where they go, all right, like, so we got one more break, and then you'll go in, and what do you want him to ask you? And I go, whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And they go, no, like, what specifically do you want him to ask you? Because
we haven't done any work.
And I go, whatever he wants, I'm down for whatever. And they're like, he needs you to tell him what to ask him. And I go, oh, I don't like to do that. And the panic that washed over this person's face, they were like, what? So then I guess they're in the commercial break. The commercial break starts. They bring the guy in and he's like, hey, is everything all right? And I go, yeah, everything's fine. And they go, well, he's like, well, is there, I think they wanted you to, answer some questions. And I go, and I said, whatever you want to ask is fine. And he goes, well, I mean, what's been going on? And I go, I don't know, man. I've been on tour, you know, I have a kid. He goes, you have a kid? And he's like, write that down. So he starts doing the pre-interview.
Right.
He's like, has that been...
As they're in the commercial break.
As in the commercial break. And I'm like, yeah, we could talk about that. I go, again, anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. And he's like, oh, okay. And we go in there and the whole thing's fine, right? It's fine because I was like, you can just ask whatever you want.
Yeah, these guys aren't used to the concept. It's such a foreign thing. Outside of the work, it's fine. But the idea of having a conversation, talking to a person, and just asking them what questions that might seem relevant to the reason they're occupying your next 7 minutes.
They can't do, like, we're the ones where they would refuse to do even a moment of prep. And that happened to me in Hartford, Connecticut, where I got there and they basically, the club dropped me off and they're like, all right, you're going to do this show. Okay. And then the people who host the show kind of did the whole like, looked.
When was this?
This probably was sometime between 09 and 12, somewhere in that.
You're coming up. I'm
not like a big draw. And they, you know, they're like, this is what really moves tickets. And you're like, okay.
And the club's sending you out. You have to do it.
You have to do it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, is anyone going to talk to me about like at all? And they're like, just wait in this room. So then the guy brings me out and it's him. He's like, I don't know. He's just kind of a fucking boner of a dude. And
I mean, he's in Hartford.
He's in Hartford.
Let's be honest.
Doing the morning bullshit
he's not
show.
happy.
He's definitely not happy.
He's not happy.
The girl that's with him is 30 years younger, and she's totally like just disconnected. I mean, she doesn't, I don't think gives a shit. So instead of, I mean, not only are they not like, what are we going to talk about? He literally goes, all right, when we come back from the break, you know, just do your thing. And then he just like keeps writing down. And I go, what's that? And he goes, yeah, when we come back from the break.
Do your set.
Just take over.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, that's what we do here. Like, you're the comedian. We come back and just do whatever you want. And I go, I'm not going to say much. And he starts to like, go like, what do you mean? I go, I don't do, like, what do you mean take over? Like, you think I'm going to just start going crazy on the air? Like, that's not like what I do.
You should have said like, okay, I guess, you know, you're not 100% familiar with my act. It's juggling, but all right, get me something and just on air pretend to juggle.
The best was that he cited another comedian. He goes, so-and-so was here a couple weeks ago and he took all his clothes off. And I go, how did that play on the air?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And then he just started to scramble and he was like, where are you from? I was like, I'm originally from Cincinnati.
There you go. That's a start.
He's like, all right, so let's write it down. And all we did for the interview, which was, you know, depending on how you want to look at it, a disaster or hilarious, I just made up everything.
I'm going to go with hilarious.
I was hilarious to me.
That's all that counts.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just like in such a panic, called the radio or the club and was like, he was uncooperative and he wouldn't I was like, okay. And that's when I started doing... pretty soon after a character.
Yes, Bert showed me
DJ Dadmouth.
Yeah, and I have such respect, and I mean that goes so much of what I do, and certainly used to do before anybody knew who I was. Like I would fuck with people all the time.
I bet you did,
and but not to that extent. You had a whole character. I love it. I love the. Kind of what you're talking about, you know, with when you go to the morning zoo crew and they don't know a fucking thing about you. And Bob Odenkirk and I, when we were doing press for Mr. Show, and nobody knew who we were pretty much until we were off the air. But every time we had an unspoken understanding that if the interviewer, and this was easily half the time, didn't know who we were, had just maybe read whatever press that they, you know, the summation or whatever that the person got from HBO, and truly didn't know these like you guys are now you guys are supposed to be funny, you know, or whatever. So then we would just make shit up, and I mean nothing, not a true word would ever come through our lips for the whole thing, whether it was live TV or whether it was print. just making shit up. And it would you can look at. I'm sure there's tons out there of old interviews where we just made everything up. And we're doing it for each other and trying not to break, but trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah, and it's like nothing more joyful than remembering that, I bet.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah. It's the best. And especially when you're in the moment. And they're just going, okay, all right. And somebody sent me, I can't remember who it was, but somebody found an EPK thing I did for Kung Fu Panda where the person, it was TV. It was definitely a video because they sent it to me. It was like some YouTube thing. And they sent me this thing where they're asking me questions, but they truly don't know anything about the project or me. And I just made the whole thing is a lie about my character was a dentist who got transformed, who came from another world. It was live action, and then I get to go through this 2-dimensional thing. It was just 15 minutes of nonsense, and then
the best.
and they're going along with it. They're like, oh wow, that's interesting. So what kind of dentist or whatever? They're just asking questions that it's so much fun.
We are supported by Ridge. Ridge is celebrating their 10-year anniversary with 10 years of great reviews and iconic wallets. Ridge is obsessed with making durable, space-saving gear that you'll actually use. Stock up with a minimalist wallet, key case, ring, or watch for a more organized everyday. It holds up to 12 cards, plus room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. The wallets have over 50,000 5-star reviews. The durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. The Ridge team is so confident that you'll like it that they'll let you test drive it for 99 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it. It's made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. I like that. I like the fact that it has this heft to it, that it feels like you feel like you're really holding something. It's not flimsy. You feel protected with it. You put it in your pocket, you know it's there. You get the best offer with linkridge.com/bears. And right now, you can save up to 40% through March 24th.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Tell that to my wife. The way we argue is really interesting, and it wasn't always the same way. It's morphed since we had kids and since things have changed and responsibilities have gotten bigger, and it's funny is that you can take a fight you have with your wife, and then for me, I take it into therapy, and I work out why we reacted that way, why we behave that way, why we do certain things, or why I react to certain things, and then I can take it back to her, and my wife is also in therapy, secret time, and then we can kind of work together as a team. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. I love online therapy, and that's what BetterHelp is. It's online therapy. If you're thinking, for me, it's so much easier because you do it on your time. Literally, sometimes all you have to do is this. Pull up your phone and this. Open your computer and this. Wherever you are, if you're on the road, if you're in traffic, if you're at the beach, if you want to go with your family somewhere and you go, well, shit, I have therapy today. Bring your computer, bring your phone. I do it sometimes without even the video on. I just talk to them. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bears today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bears.
I eventually got to the point where I think actually with the character, it's that I started to sell tickets, right? And they'd be like, I'd get there and they'd go, tickets, your shows are sold out. I'd be like, okay, cool. And they go, don't forget tomorrow morning we're doing Good Morning Hartford, and I go, wait, why are we doing that? And they're like,
absolutely not.
And they're like, well, it's important. And I was like, for who? And they're like, well, we have a relationship. I go, so this is for you guys?
Yeah.
And they were basically like, well, we need you to do it. And I'm like, okay. So that's when I would show up in character, And the best part about it, the thing that I had the most fun doing is they would go, the press people would be like, you know, what is going on? Why are you wearing this? And then they would say, so tell us about your shows. And I go, I don't really focus on stand-up anymore. And they were like, and it would say like Funny Bone on it. They were like, what? And I go, it's all about the after party, you know? I go, I'm going to be DJing at this club. And, you know, if you want to go to the show, it doesn't matter. It's really about the club. We're gonna throw it down. And you'd see in the background, the club would be going like, why are you doing this?
That's great. Do you know Jon Benjamin?
Yeah, Jon Benjamin. Yeah.
Because that his whole presence, his reason for living is doing that. Like he's got. I mean, he's kind of the king of that stuff.
Really,
and
for over a decade, people have told me I look like him. Like for
a little bit, yeah.
I got tagged in, you know, on Twitter or something. You open, and it's just like 100 people being like, you know who you look like, and you're like, is it someone with a beard? And then
a little Jewy, a little less Jewy, more Jewy. Okay. I don't know, Jewier.
Okay, I see it.
There you go.
Yeah. But he loves to fuck with people.
Oh, he and I have done a couple projects together, and just sort of on occasion just stumbled into like really fucking with people hard. Like, in a really fun way. One great. I'm just remembering this now. I was in a doctor's office in Beverly Hills. And it was a very Beverly Hills-ish, like, you know, clearly wealth but also Beverly Hills. So it was like, I don't remember a whole lot of it except for it was really a well-appointed waiting room. It was a little darker than it normally would be, and like leather couches. It's just very nice. And I've filled out my stuff and I'm in there waiting, and this girl comes in, and probably, I'm going to guess, you know, mid-20s maybe. And it's quiet, you know, it's a doctor's waiting room. And she's sitting next to me on the couch, and she starts a phone conversation with a friend, and she's, you know, talking at this volume, and like, oh my God, I mean, I would never, ever do that. Oh, please. And, you know, just going on, super annoying.
Yeah.
Talking about stupid shit. And I can't remember how, but somehow I saw her number, or she gave her number or something. I wrote it down, wrote it like on my pant leg. I took my phone out, and I texted Benjamin. I was in LA, he was in New York, and I texted Benjamin, please, you know, the situation, this girl is on the phone, she's being super annoying, please call her and tell her to be quiet. And he did. So she goes, wait, hang on, who's this? Like, hello? And I can't hear his side of the conversation, just her side. He's like, what? What are you talking about? Who said? Who are you? And the whole thing goes way longer than you would expect it. It didn't go like 20 seconds. It went on for minutes and minutes.
I'm in the back,
and I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying not to react. I'm literally next to her, and she's looking around, and it was great.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that was. But he had her going the whole time, and you know, I'm a doctor, and
do you know Brendon Walsh? Mm-hmm. Do you know the extent of some of his fuck with people things?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I think he might be the Hall of Fame. Like,
really?
I think there should be a documentary about him.
All right.
I mean,
he worked with Benjamin quite a bit.
Brendon did?
Yeah.
Dude. Okay. I mean, I don't even know where to start, but like.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the home movies. This is terrible he's a friend of mine. Brendon Small.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brendon.
But do you know Walsh?
I don't.
Dude. I mean,
is that the guy who looks like Danny Masterson?
I mean, I guess Walsh maybe kind of does, but
that's Brendon Small.
So Walsh.
This is a very confusing podcast.
This is a bunch of people. I know. This motherfucker, dude. So, okay, here's I'll tell you a series of them.
Yes.
Because he lives for this shit. So at one point in Silver Lake, which Silver Lake, for people that don't know, east side of Los Angeles. It is like a very within a city that is a blue city. It is a progressive enclave, I would say. Like
very kind of hipstery.
It's very hipstery. It's the cool kids and it is its own kind of culture there. So there was a gay bar that
on
closed.
Hyperion.
Yeah.
And then, I used to live over there.
I did too. Yeah. I lived on Hyperion.
I lived
on DeLongpre, just right
there. So I lived at one point on Silver Lake Boulevard, at one point on Hyperion. Well, that bar closed, and Brendon had a sign made that he hung up above there that said Silver Lake Gun Club, like coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
brilliant.
Guns like in LA are, for a lot of people, they're like, it's a culture of people who are like, why do people have guns? But Silver Lake, well, then he also set up a website and a phone number. And it was just for people to be like, we don't want a gun club in our neighborhood. And he's like, it's America, but brother, I can do whatever I want. It's just for people to complain angrily at him. And I'm like, what do you do when they call? He's like, I just listen to them call. And then I'm just like, I can do what I want. This is a free country. And he had a site built with like an eagle that was like a shitty HTML.
That's next level.
He Circuit City closed down around there. And then he put
on Sunset, I remember that. And
he put Whole Foods coming soon, just so people would be excited that a Whole Foods was coming. Like there was no Whole Foods coming.
And he would have a sign made.
Yes,
a big sign. I assume.
Huge, expensive sign.
How did he get it up there?
The one that you would also in the same neighborhood that was amazing was if you were going on Hyperion towards Atwater Village over this bridge, there was a huge billboard that was, very high up, and it was rotating ads. And then Verizon had an ad out about a new program for their fucking, their phone. So it was like, get the new whatever Verizon plan. And it was two phones, and it showed a text exchange like, I'll see you later tonight. And then the other person writes like, can't wait to see you or something. Well, he had huge stickers in the same color and font made, went up there and placed them on the phones. And then it said, Dad died. And then it says, LOL, what? And then it goes, what?
Oh, man.
And so that was up for like 2 weeks. You're driving by like, the fuck is
brilliant.
This? It was all Walsh. He would just do that. He would just, he took over like Twitter. He had a Twitter account that he was playing his neglected 10-year-old son. And that's how he would like promote his dates. Like, my dad left me outside, and people would like interact with this kid. Like, you need to call.
Oh, dude, I need to learn more about this guy.
Oh, dude, it was. But then people like that, like Walsh, you're also kind of fearful of. You're always like, this is hilarious, and then you're like, please don't ruin my life.
Don't bring me into this. Don't make me the subject.
Yeah. He's just
that's brilliant. That's
scares
great.
You. Yeah, so fucking funny, man. I was at this store. Is there a Mr. Show book?
Yeah.
There is, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say, because I'm pulling it from memory, that I think the thing that I read was that you guys, like, you would have these ideas for shows, like for sketches, but that Bob since he came from SNL writing, he knew how to like hone in, like, oh, that's a good premise, but like it has to be written like this.
I learned a lot from Bob, and we did come from two very different schools, and my shit was all over the place, and it really worked well doing it together, because his first focus is like in a kind of classic sketch way is like, let's make this funny, let's and my stuff would be funny, but it would be way too long, too sprawling, and he was able to edit and hone, and I was able to take his premises, which were more kind of classic sketch, and it didn't really, and just give him a travel. Like my whole thing was like, let's tell a story. We got 4 minutes, so it really meshed together really well. Like I could take his stuff in a direction he wasn't even thinking of, because his, again, this is like early on, but his focus was kind of, going from point A to point B with no diversions, and I would add these crazy things.
I consider I think I told you this before, but I consider you guys like graduate school for me. Because when I moved to LA,
you will get accredited.
I will get accredited.
Yeah. You didn't know that? Yeah. If you go watch all episodes of Mr. Show and the DVD commentary, commentary is like getting I don't know about college, but MFA, is that right?
I think it's MFA. Yeah.
Is that the high one?
Yes.
Sum laude.
Whatever
it happens, the highest level of college or university. That's what you get.
It's how you officially become a comedian. You get labeled a comedian.
Well, yeah, and dues.
Yes.
You have to pay dues.
You have to pay dues.
Physical dues, and I'm happy to take Bitcoin. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Or hats.
Nothing physical, though.
Like, it's something that's like an NFT. That's something that I can't hold in my hand.
But you can still sell.
But somebody can tell me the idea of it exists, and I go, okay, how much would you like for that? And then I'll sign over my house.
Dude,
that's thing.
That's our specialty here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And all that you get accredited. You can go. You can actually teach in some islands in the West Indies.
Teach comedy writing,
whatever,
anything you want.
Yeah, you take it, whatever.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Another language.
Do you speak other languages?
I mean, all of them really. I can't say well.
Yeah.
But Sitao.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was that?
Somebody tell me. I don't know.
Okay.
Look it up.
Do another one.
Harg.
Wow, that's Nordic.
Sure. Yeah.
I think
that's squeezing one out in Nordic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, farts are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. The fart gag in Todd, Margaret is probably my favorite of all fart gags of all things ever.
Thank you. That one was, I know there's some things that are really specific to English audiences, but that one, because you know about the Yorkshire Killer, the Yorkshire Ripper. That's a real guy.
No.
And it's still a real sensitive topic to some folks. So
really?
When I was doing I'm just ripping them, yeah. And he's, so the Yorkshire Ripper was a guy who was a serial killer in the mid to late 70s and killed a bunch of people. There he is, Peter Sutcliffe. Yeah.
He looks nice in a tux. I'll tell you that.
Why would he feel the need to murder? Look at him. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Look at all those women.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, but they probably weren't. First of all, I want to say this about serial killers. They're not all bad. There's two sides of the story.
Absolutely. Well, the depopulation control is part of it.
And there's some of them have other fun sides to them, and that not all victims were all great people. Let's just say that.
And Tom, let's remember what we were taught as kids. Do not judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
All right?
Right.
Don't judge a book by its cover, even if it kills in a serial
way. In a way.
Serialized way.
Serialized way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to tell me that each of these women was a saint?
I don't believe. I don't know enough about them. I don't like the looks of the one in the middle there. I don't like what she's bringing to the table.
Oh, the eyes on C12, you mean? Yeah, I'm not into that
I'm clearly judging a book by its cover, though. I'm going against my own. Son of a bitch. He got me.
He did
Peter
get
Sutcliffe got me.
Peter, you son of a... Is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
He died. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Too bad. So, he died just recently.
Oh, when?
2020.
Oh, yeah. Just in time. COVID came and he was like, I'm out of here.
I gotta go.
I just got out of prison.
There's some people that bid it during COVID that were like career criminals that you're like, wow, just did, like him, Bernie Madoff, who just fucking took, I don't know how many billions from people. And then he was just like, oh, you caught me? I'm going to die now. He's just dead. Yeah. He's gone. So wait, you were saying though that the people in that area are still very sensitive.
There's some, yeah. It's still a thing. Like even to do it, like the actor who played the owner of the football club, he was like kind of also a classic actor who, you know, in the way that didn't get today's kids comedy, and like even he was a little. Like, he took the gig, obviously, but he was a little like, I don't find this funny.
Support for today's episode comes from True Classic. As a people-driven brand, True Classic believes that the clothes you wear should make you feel confident and comfortable so you can show up as the best version of yourself every single day. This is your one-stop shop for all your wardrobe essentials, like their t-shirts. Their t-shirts have a premium fit that's tighter in the shoulders and biceps for that extra boost of confidence. And I'm telling you right now, their t-shirts are awesome. I love them in my shoulders and in my biceps, and in my places that I want to feel more confident, they allow me to feel more confident, if you know what I mean. From their t-shirts to their polos to their activewear, their denim, their button-downs, their hoodies, their joggers, their boxer briefs, and everything in between. They have everything you need. Time to upgrade your wardrobe today. We have an exclusive deal for our listeners. We want you to get hooked up with some True Classic. For a limited time only, get 25% off with the code BEARS at trueclassic.com. I'm telling you when I say this, you are going to love these t-shirts. They are my go-to t-shirts, and they're built for a man's body, like a man's body. The kind of man that sits on the sidelines and cheers for his kids, and their kids look at the other kids on the field and go, that's my dad with the jacked arms. That's my dad with the big shoulder. And that's my dad with the comfortable belly that I love to lay on and go to sleep. Get comfortable, get going, and upgrade your wardrobe today with True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the code BEARS. Free shipping is included on all purchases over $100. 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day return policy. You can't go wrong. It's look good, feel good season.
If you're 21 or over and use nicotine, pouches, or long cut, you have to try tobacco alternative Black Buffalo. Black Buffalo is everything you love, nothing you don't. The feel, the taste, the ritual, just without the actual tobacco leaf or stem. Black Buffalo is actually made from a variety of cabbage leaves. Different leaf, same ritual. You can buy Black Buffalo online at blackbuffalo.com or at thousands of retail locations across the country by checking the store locator on their website. If you are from Texas like me, you can check them out in your local All-Ups or Pilot stores. I know our very own Nadav is thrilled when he's not chuffing down a pack. He is experimenting and enjoying his Black Buffalo. If you are 21 or over and use products like this, it's time to join the Black Buffalo herd. Head to blackbuffalo.com and use the promo code 2BEARS at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use the code, the number 2 and the word BEARS for 15% off your first order. One last time, the promo code is 2BEARS for 15% off your first order. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Can I ask you this about because like I like that show and things that you've done so much. Do you ever get, I always wonder like, you know, when we see the final product, and it works so well, and you're like, oh, this, you know, it's fucking, like, it's hilarious, right? You're just enjoying it, I'm saying, as a consumer. Mm-hmm. Is it common that you're on set and someone's just like either playing it wrong or like, I don't get this, and you have to go, no, like the character is doing it like this, and they're like, that doesn't make, like, does that happen with some of these?
I wouldn't say it's common, but sometimes sometimes you definitely get somebody who doesn't get the joke. You know,
yeah.
I mean, we had that on Mr. Show. You know, there were some people who were really kind of good at what they did, but they didn't, and we cast them for a reason, I guess. But they didn't get the tone. And as you say, they don't know the finished product. You're sitting on a set and you're doing it, you know, 40 different times in different sizes and angles and stuff, and don't get exactly why it's funny, like the way we would laugh at it. They're not seeing that part of it. And
so, but they'll still professional enough to just do their job.
Yeah, and they want the gig, and they auditioned, they were hired for a reason, and you know, I remember, I'm not gonna say who it was, but I worked with somebody on a project that I wrote and directed. I wasn't in it for English television. And who would occasionally put the cadence, like the cadence was wrong on a line. This happened a couple times, and I had to work out this thing with the script supervisor where it was like a code where, because the number one thing you don't want to do is, and I hate it as an actor, is when the director comes over and gives you a line reading. It's really kind of humiliating and condescending in a way. And sometimes if I'm getting it wrong, I'll just say, "How do you want me to say it?" If I'm not doing it the way you want, just tell me how you do it. I will do it that way. But it rarely gets to that point. But I had this one actor who couldn't. I'll tell you when we're done with this who it was. But who just, so I had this thing worked out with a script supervisor where I'd go, "Hey," and I'd repeat it, the line, like, "Hey, did we get this line when blah blah says da da da?" So I could say it. Then the script supervisor, then she'd say it back to me. And when I talked to the script supervisor about this, like how to say it, this is what we're gonna do. And but it's I don't know why I brought this up. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Did the actress or actor take offense or know what was that?
No.
But did they then do it well or the way you? No. Still no.
No. You can only do so much.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, I give it a shot.
You're like, we tried.
But there were also things like, have you talked before? Have you had a conversation where who would say, nobody says this? Nobody.
I had one of the worst experiences that I've had acting was I booked a commercial campaign that never aired. Okay.
Oh dear.
But I was
That's how bad it was? That's how bad you were.
Fucking, I don't know. It was
let's come on. It's time to face up to some truths.
It could be that it was me. But it was also with Jared from Subway before he
Before or during?
Well, we were sharing videos, but mine I was like, this girl's 19, bro. No, but so we were doing this huge campaign.
Now wait, Tom, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Have you thought about, like, while we were doing this, was he trying to fuck 13-year-olds?
I've thought of
while you were doing did this shoot take place over a couple days?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was probably going home.
He probably was
trying to fuck a 13-year-old.
He could have been.
I mean, he could have been.
We did share a pizza, and that was cool.
Did it taste like young cum?
It did.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. Stop it.
It did.
Stop it.
Did. He was.
I don't know what that tastes like. What does it taste like?
You know, it kind of tastes kind of sweet. It's good for a reason.
Sweet in like the taste bud way, or sweet in like a
sweet in that you've never come harder. Like it is. It's a special place to be, I think. Like,
all right, you're under arrest.
Okay.
The commercial is under arrest. This podcast is under arrest. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No. It was.
I want to hear about you and Jared.
Jared, great guy. First of all, I don't know about these charges.
You ruined his life. You ruined his life, Tom.
He, it's funny. Like, you book it, and here's the campaign. Just so you know, actually, I think that you'll enjoy this. Jared could only promote healthy sandwiches because the whole reason he got the gig was he used to weigh like 500 pounds. And he's like, all I did was eat like the turkey sub.
Right.
And so when he does commercials, he can only be like, hey, the turkey sub. And then they go, we need someone that can promote our unhealthy stuff.
Which is almost all of their
and that's where you come in, Tom.
Right.
So the commercial campaign was that
Oh, look at that photo on the upper right. Whole new.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
Oh, you got rid of it. Okay, smart.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Smart. That's him with a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, you're going to play his brother. And then when he's promoting the turkey sub, you can be like, oh, how about the chicken parmesan sub? Like so that we can promote healthy and
sure, makes sense.
And I'm like, great. So they're like, you're gonna be his brother Jerome. And I really did I think that's kind of a black guy's name. This is what I told the marketing people. I was 25 years old, and they were like, really? I go, I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of a black guy's name. There are white Jeromes, but I think most people must be. There are, but I'm like, I think most people think black guy.
I didn't. When you said it, I didn't.
They come back and they go, we had a meeting with our staff and they all agreed that Jerome is kind of a black name. And I go, okay. And they go, so your new name is Jermaine. And I was like, that's so much blacker. So then we shoot the We started shooting the commercials.
For real, Jermaine. They changed Jerome to Jermaine because they couldn't think of another J, like Jerry,
Jason,
yeah,
James,
Jennifer,
anything, yeah,
Jamilian, Jamiroquai, Jansen, P.
Jaquel,
Quinesimin.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of them worked.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So we go, all right, we're shooting these ads, and
my name is Jermaine Fontarius. I'm Jerry's younger brother.
That's fucking unbelievable. Jesus Christ. So we're shooting these fucking things, and one day he has like a buddy that hangs all the time, and they're like, they're pissed. They think Jared's gaining weight, and they don't want him to. He had to stay within a certain weight range, and he had put on a few pounds, I guess.
This is the friend talking, or the
friend,
the company? No,
the friend. Yeah, the friend's like, yeah, and then I was like, oh. I'm new. It's like my first day shooting this thing. I'm like, yeah, you look great, man. And then he's like, thanks, man. You want to get a pizza? And I was like, sure. So we start eating pizza. And we're shooting the commercial. Oh, this goes back to you talking about how sometimes an actor's not doing what you want him to do. So whatever. Jared's not in this thing. I'm shooting this thing with the director. And he's like, and action? And I'm like, these subs. And he goes, no. Go like, these subs are like, I go, so these subs, he's like, no. Be like, these subs.
Oh, Jesus.
And he starts doing that. And dude, we get to like 20 times in a row. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And he's like, hey, you're not, it feels like, you're not like really doing like what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to like change it up. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like our first shot. And we're going to do 10 commercials.
Wow.
So we're going to shoot a
whole campaign.
A whole campaign. So,
and they cast you.
Yeah, dude. It was a long process, dude. Like to get a campaign.
Oh, those
like
things
that,
are the worst.
I mean, it was like,
even just VO is a excruciatingly long process. It's so surprising.
But the thing was on day like 3, grooving a little better. I finally do something where he's like, that's who I booked. That's why we booked you. Because what you're doing right now, this is fucking hilarious. And I'm like, all right, man, like, thanks. And then I go to talk to one of the producers that is like, I think either from Subway or from the marketing company and I go, hey, when we shoot the rest of these, do we have different directors? Are they all going to be with this fuckhead? And they're like, no, there'll be different directors. I go, thank God. And I was such an amateur, I didn't realize that I was mic'd up.
Oh.
Everybody heard it, including the director.
Oh.
That was...
Oh.
And then at lunch, I got a talking to.
Wait, tell me about the talking to. I want to hear about that.
He goes, hey, let me talk to you.
Because internally you're fighting like you're kind of nervous and this is weird, but you're also... Your gut is telling you, like, fuck these people.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, I also think, I realized how I was very inexperienced when that happened, right? But
it's potentially, so people know, a lot of money. Man, you book one of those things, it's a big paycheck.
Not only was it's guaranteed money to shoot the 10, but then it was against residuals, meaning like as they start airing, then you'll make more.
Yeah.
And then Subway signed me to this thing where they're like, you'll do appearances.
Yeah.
So I'm 25 years old.
Huge money you've never seen before.
And it was like, life-changing at the time.
Yeah.
Money. And I'm like, and this guy's like, you're talking about line readings. He's cutting me off in the middle of everything I'm saying.
Really rude.
And then he's like, how come you're not doing like what you were doing in the audition? And I'm like, what the fuck am I like? And I'm like, I don't have clarity on what he wants.
That's also,
around.
Not only is that shitty behavior just, outside of that setting, but that's bad directing because he's not going to get the thing he wants from you, the thing he needs. That's just poor, stupid, that's amateur too.
It was. Our last exchange it went pretty poorly. It was at this lunch thing. This was the last thing we had. This was the last personal conversation we had that wasn't on a set. He pulls me aside and I could tell he's pissed. and I'm putting together that he heard. Or like,
you don't know
I
yet?
don't know exactly yet.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So he's like,
right.
he's like, how do you think it's going? And I'm like, fine. Yeah, whatever. That thing was fun. And I'm trying to be cool. He's like, yeah. When you get back to LA, maybe get in some acting classes. I think that would help. I go, do you think it would help? And he goes, yeah. And I go, have you ever directed anything before? And he goes, I've been directing for like 20 some years. And I go, I couldn't tell.
Wow.
And then he was like, okay, so let's try to have like a nice, like, he changed it and was like,
he'd made the decision when he's having that conversation. You're done.
Yeah. Now and the crazy thing is, I didn't know, like we ended up shooting a few of these, and they got them to a place they were happy with. The CFO of marketing of Subway resigned, not related to the commercial, like resigned from his job.
That's how bad you were.
That's how bad I was. And then a new guy came in and just killed all the campaigns they were doing because they had like multiple things going, killed them all. I didn't know, my agent didn't know. A friend of mine who like reads business news, read that and was like, hey, there's a new marketing director at Subway. So does that mean your campaign is dead? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I called my agent. He's like, I've never heard of that. And then he's like, yeah, your friend's right. The campaign's dead.
So, but you got guaranteed money, right?
I only got the amount. I ended up making like, a nice chunk of change for a little, but I didn't get the.
But man, you were seeing like, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire.
I was spending money I didn't have.
Yeah.
It fucked me up. And then I followed that guy because I wanted to send something. I was hoping he was dead by now.
Director.
Yeah, I wanted to send something like rude to the funeral service.
Jesus, how petty and vindictive.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna send this because they have like they do photos of like somebody's image.
Yeah.
At a memorial
they put on
service.
An easel.
I want to have one made of all my specials, like all the and then just have my net worth at the bottom and just have it at the memorial service.
And so you missed that opportunity, but
He's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah, I can still do it.
So you could send it to his house.
Yeah, that's true.
Or get your friend Brendon to get a billboard across the street.
That's a good idea. With
just plastered and then a transcript of this conversation.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And then the same thing with your specials.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. Yeah.
And your net worth can be on a digital clock that changes, that rises like the deficit.
Like the deficit. That's such a good idea.
It just keeps spinning.
Dude, that's such a good idea.
And attached to the digital clock is a fan. So every time the numbers move, it's like analog. So every time the numbers move, it makes a breeze. So he's actually thankful for the breeze because it's hot, right?
Dude.
But now it's like I don't know, I want to get rid of that. But every time Tom Segura makes more money, I'm cooled down and it's a pleasant experience. So what do I do?
And I feel like I finally understand how you guys wrote sketches. I came with a very linear idea, and then you threw a lot of like extra into it.
There you go.
Now it's a great bit.
What was the thing that we riffed when I was on your mother's house? We riffed some really funny thing. I can't remember what it was.
I remember. Hold on. It was
like you had to go to a urologist or something?
A surgeon for a procedure, and then you reduced my dick size.
Right.
And I was like, that had nothing to do with it. And you were like, I was down there, though. But I was already down there.
Oh, man. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that was really funny.
That was a fun riff.
And I'm like, I thought you were just doing like my hernia. And you're like, yeah, but we were there, so we just took care.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're going to heal up. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Why would you do that to my dick?
Memories.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I love also this. It's really, when I was here last, you had just gotten in here.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bare and, I mean, really bare bones, but it's come a long way.
Yeah,
I would expect more to have been finished in the long time.
It is. It takes everything.
Well, it doesn't have to. You're just choosing to, I don't know, hire lazy people, whatever. Not lazy, but not, we're working 3 hours a day.
I think the word is Texans.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, people move here for a reason.
I mean, it's so fucking slow, man.
It's slow.
You can call people and you go, hey, I want to buy a place. Can I buy an apartment? And they're like, so you're saying like, I would like to do business. And they're like, oh, sounds great. And then you go, great. So they're like, let me get back to you. And then that'll be like on a Wednesday. So Friday, you go, hey, do you have anything? And they go, oh, we made some calls and we'll just get back to you.
That's Texas's motto
what
is
the fuck?
We don't have to care. We're Texas. We don't have to care.
I swear to God,
People are only here for the tax break.
It's so much slower than I'm used. That's the biggest adjustment. I mean, do you guys find that too? Like the slow?
Absolutely.
It's so much fucking slower.
It's I have a house in upstate New York at a very rural, small town, surrounded by other small rural towns, and I love it. It's beautiful. Been up there for about 16 years, and
damn, really?
Yeah. I got it. I bought property and had a house built on it. Middle of nowhere. It's awesome. But if you need anything, and I mean any work done, anything, and I've had the heat go out, and the winter is, can be very harsh up there, and people, what was it? I had, I needed something done. Oh, I had a flying squirrel infestation in the walls of the bedroom, and had to have the ceiling pulled down, and all kinds of crazy shit. It's awful. It was one of the nastiest things I've ever seen, and then redone, and then put the wood back up, and I had to go through three people, just people who were like, yeah, I'll do it. And people I knew from just being up there, and, they do kind of handyman, carpentry, all kinds of, jack of all trade type stuff up there. A guy who I paid for the wood, brought the wood, had it outside under like a little tarp, and it just stayed there. Just stayed in there until I called him like 5 times, like, Steven, what's going on, man? He's like, oh yeah, no, I'll get to you. Yeah. This weekend too, and I can't, this is a huge hole in my ceiling, and I gotta put this in these, like, and then I would get somebody else, and you ask around, and people, now the internet's a lot more helpful now. You can go on the Facebook page for the town, and people will go, oh yeah, F that guy, just get this, somebody, they're crossing Pennsylvania, they'll come over and do it. But still, anything, plowing, anything, they don't give a shit.
At least in your case, that is this rural kind of out of the way place.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no excuse here, yeah.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
We went, we had to make a decision, and we debated, and we were like, we were going to do this fence. It's kind of an elaborate fence, but it's a fence for the home, right? That is meaning that it has different materials, and it's more than just posts. Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's a gaudy fence.
It's a gaudy fence. It has pictures of my specials on it. It's pretty cool.
And your net worth.
Yeah, and the clock ticks.
Great.
So I was like, definitely, let's show it off. And we pulled all right, let's do it. We hire this crew. Guy's great. It's May of last year, and as it's going on, I'm like, hey, I'm leaving town for 7 weeks. Do you think that this will be done when I get back? And he's like, pretty good chance, which would be sometime in August, because I left in June. Mm-hmm. Okay. We are entering March, and it is not complete. And I go, I went for the thing where I would get I go, the fuck is going on? And now I just wave when I see them. Right. How's it going, guys?
It's no conversation to be had.
And because I already heard the thing is, you also hear a lot of this. You go, you hear and then that's how an explanation starts. There's a big whelp, and then there's a team. There's and they didn't show when they were supposed to.
To be fair, though, your house sits on 7,000 acres.
Yeah,
so
but the fence,
it's not a small fence.
The fence is only 2,000 acres, though. It's not the whole property.
Yeah, that's so. Oh, I'm sorry. So you have a fence you have roughly a little under a third of your property fenced off,
Just
and then
I don't want them to get too close. So I don't mind
see.
if people are on the
okay, they can do pheasant hunting
eat
and
their
things like
olives
that.
on the outside. I just don't
Right.
want them to get.
Do you have an olive tree?
I do. I keep
should.
it way out there because I think they're gross.
They're disgusting
because
yeah.
they're fresh.
But you like cold press extra virgin
canned
virgin.
shitty olives.
No, but the olive oil. You like olive oil.
I do like olive oil.
Yeah.
Is that weird? You think?
No, because you like the subconsciously like the physical violence it takes to the olive to put the olive through to get its
That's
life
true.
force, its life juice,
The juice of the
squeezed out of it.
Yeah, and I like to imagine that act, that violent act.
That's why you like the olive oil.
Do you have a food that you hate?
I'm sure I do. Let me think. I don't like cranberry sauce. I really. Oh, and sweet potatoes, which is I'm from the South, and
That's
there's a lot of sweet potatoes
you
and
never.
things.
I
that
don't like
hate.
cranberry.
I don't like cranberries.
I don't like cranberry sauce.
I don't like it anywhere near anything.
And when it's also on Thanksgiving, everyone's always like, "Here's the special treat," and I'm like, "It's not for me though."
And most people don't like it, and that will not admit it. We
Yeah.
have an entire country
Of liars.
of liars,
Yeah.
that are perpetuating this stupid bullshit myth.
That cranberry sauce is amazing.
Ugh, it's infuriating. They're trying to prop up the least pleasant berry.
I kind of feel this way about that. I feel like a raspberry is delicious, but raspberry sauce on a dessert, I'm like, you could put that off.
Oh, I disagree. I'm
Really?
the opposite. I don't like raspberries.
But you do like raspberry
I
sauce.
do like raspberry sauce on
Interesting.
pancakes or waffles or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like raspberry sauce. I don't like just a
The berry
handful of
itself?
berries. Nah.
What about blueberries?
Yeah, they're all right.
Blackberries?
Eh.
Strawberries?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
do like a good strawberry.
Come on.
Thank you.
Is that?
Thank you for reaching inside, deep inside, and finding that. I'm a better person for it.
Man, that's what we do here. Is it-
Lives are being changed.
I mean, there's people right now
People's
who are
lives
like-
are being changed.
There will be a new watch. There will be a news article next week about you and berries.
Okay.
I promise.
I keep forgetting the massive reach this thing has.
Oh, berries are coming. The berries are in the news.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
They're about to be. You're speaking in future tense in the present, but when this thing goes out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You listen to me. Berries are going to be in the news.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten sick up? Does upstate New York area where the house where you have the place, does that have like a picture berries? Is that berry country? Are there
No, not really. No. There's a lot of farms there, but no real berries.
Is there any food that is like that you can get just in that farm area that is exceptionally good? You know, because they grow it there or something?
I mean, like turtle eyes. There's a lot of
Turtle
turtle. Yeah,
eyes?
we get turtle eyes.
Have you seen that video of that turtle getting
That's
killed?
the greatest thing about living in the present day is that you can make up some bullshit thing, and then the next response is, "Have you seen that video?"
Of that guy, and everybody has the same response.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There
but
is
of
a
course.
video that went fucking crazy viral of a guy, and he has a turtle, and he's like
Eating its
bathing it.
eyes?
No, he's bathing it, right? And everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like this guy's taking the turtle to the turtle spa today."
Mm-hmm.
And then he just fucking cracks its back, splits it open, chops it, and then like makes a dish, and you're just everybody's like, "What the fuck?" Because turtles are adorable, and I don't think we've ever seen. If it's a chicken, you go, "Yeah, people do this."
Right,
to chickens, but this turtle thing, and it also starts. It's a slow build. It's a slow.
Is it like in his bathtub or something?
It's like no. It's
Oh, there it is.
That's definitely not it. It's I think it was on Twitter, and it was.
Well, I
It
don't wanna
looked
see
like
that
one of
stuff.
these. No, it looked like one of these. You know how like men with pot is a thing where it's like a guy is out in
I
nature.
don't. Tom,
Okay,
I don't know.
This is
Men
like
with
a
pot.
Men with pot is like a huge account where a guy is out. Like there's a stream, right, and then he has a knife, and then he goes and he cuts garlic, and then he starts a fire, and it's like it's very
Oh,
stylistic.
pot for cooking,
Yeah.
not weed.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and it's very stylistically done, and it
Mm-hmm.
draws you in. You watch it and you go, "I'm going to do that," and of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
you don't fucking do it. And this guy is doing kind of a similar thing where it's like turtle, and he's like throws water, and the turtle is just like chilling like
Thanks.
cute.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and then you just see him peel the
God.
shell off, and you're like, "What?"
And it's alive.
Yeah, I mean,
or he has just killed it. Or
maybe
something.
he's just killed it. There's never a harder transition in emotion that I felt than like seeing this turtle that, I don't know, turtles are one of those animals that everybody, I think, thinks is adorable. You know, like you see a turtle and you're like, that's a cute animal. And the swing to him being like, this is dinner. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you're wondering, yes.
It's delicious.
It is good, yeah.
That reminds me, when I just moved to LA and I'd been there for about a year, I'd say. And I moved from Boston. I'd never really spent any time, right into Hollywood, baptism by fire type thing. And then some friends that I'd made, we had done some project, me and a friend Rob Cohen, and we finished, and some other friends of his finished, and we were like, we're going to go to Cabo San Lucas and just spend, like 4 or 5 days there. And I'd never been on a luxury thing. I never had any money, and I was like, this is going to be great. And I think there were 5 of us, and we booked a deep sea fishing thing, Marlin or whatever it was, and we're like 5 kind of pasty white guys from Hollywood writers, comedy writers, and we were saying to the boat when they went out, it was father, son, and then an assistant they had, but it was hey, if we catch something, we want to release it, and we want to, we just want to catch it, take a picture, and then let's put it back in and all that stuff. And they're like, okay. And, just nodding. You understand, right? Yes, yes. Okay. And we go out there, and we're out there for hours, and it's, big fucking rig, those massive fishing poles that are in those holders, and it took all of us like 20 minutes.
So exhausting?
It really, really tiring.
I've done it a few times. I couldn't believe it either.
Rowing, pulling something that
your arms are burning, and you're like,
and you're out in the sun, and you're drunk, and you're, and you're just like, and it was great. And we all literally, we would switch, somebody get in the seat and do 20 minutes, and then finally got in this big, beautiful Marlin, and we get it up, we get in the thing, and immediately, as soon as it's coming, they run down, push us out of the way, like physically push us, bring it in, and start beating the shit out of it. Beating it with a club, a bloody club, and just beating it to death. We're like, hey, and just beating the fuck out of it. Because that's $300, $400 for them.
Sure.
And we're going like, hey, so if we do catch a fish, can you take $400 out of your pocket and throw it into the water,
into the
please?
Water, please?
And I remember just all of us like, oh, no, just beat the fuck out of it to death, bloody. And we're standing in its blood.
Eyes popping out of its head. Yeah, and you're like, this is cool.
And so quickly, just running down. And it also became clear, like, they've done that. They've had this conversation and scenario 100 times where people are like, and we don't want to hurt the fish, please, sir. We want to put it back.
Oh,
yep,
of course.
Okay, of course. Yep, got it.
We know. Yeah, my cousins, when I was my mom's from Peru, so I would go down there a lot. And, you just realize that certain things that are the norm here, they are just like, when you, like even, I mean, probably now, I guess maybe vegetarian is probably more common. But when I was a kid, if you were like, I don't eat meat or pork, I'd be like, what? Like, huh?
Well, you're not going to eat that.
Yeah, and
there's only so much ceviche.
They took us to a slaughterhouse one time. But
for dinner?
No,
Jesus.
not even to like...
Just for a punishment?
Just like, you want to see something? like that. And we put on like knee-high boots, I remember, because there's just blood and guts everywhere. How old are you? I was probably 13, and we're just like standing there, and you just see an animal just get disemboweled. And
why the fuck would this is your parents?
No, just like cousins,
Oh, cousins, sure.
Cousins.
Well, they're probably having fun with the Americans too.
Probably, yeah. They did a number of things that were, cancelable.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, Peru has been canceled.
Well, that's in rough shape. But then we literally leave there, and they're like, "Do you want to get the hamburger?" And you're like, "Oh, okay." Like, that was just like, they didn't get swayed by
right
the things that would, I think, affect.
the thing. Have you ever driven, LA to San Francisco, and you go through what is it, Harrisford? What is it, the huge cattle ranch? That's on the
on the 5.
Yeah,
because you can smell it before you see it.
That's the thing that is off-putting. It's less about the slaughterhouse stuff because they have that big restaurant there. It's massive, and there's nothing else around. If you've ever been, it's nothing from miles and miles and miles. But this huge cattle ranch, and people are like, oh, it's, fresh hamburgers. It fucking stinks of shit. Like, I'm not stopping here. It could be the greatest, tastiest steak, but it stinks of death and shit.
So strong.
It's so strong.
It stinks before you see anything. So like you're just driving and you're always
it's like Iowa.
You're like, did you fart? And then basically a few minutes later, you're like, Iowa has a very strong stench.
The entire state.
Yeah.
You as you enter Iowa and you don't see anything around.
You seem like a big Cedar Rapids guy. Am I wrong?
I mean, it's my number one place of all time.
Yeah.
I own a large chunk of it. Again, Bitcoin. Thank you.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
I think I am playing Cedar Rapids.
Really?
I believe. I'm not sure, but I think I'm in Cedar Rapids.
They have the turtle video.
Oh, and in Cedar Rapids? It's the home of this turtle video.
This is
or if I'm not in Cedar, I am in
this is
Iowa.
how it starts.
No,
See?
I don't want to see it.
No.
I don't want to see it.
Don't show them that. I'm saying this is how it starts, though. Just show them how it starts. It starts.
Don't do that shit where you're like, this is how it starts.
No. See how he's doing. Okay, stop. But that's how it starts, right? You're like, they're like, oh, it's a turtle. He's like,
giving it a scrub.
You're like, oh, that's so cute. He takes care of his turtle, and this just ends in massacre.
Do you think he was like, hey, videotape this shit? This is gonna be great.
No, when you see the guy, you totally get that. It's like those guys on. It's not even like, I don't want to say those guys on the boat who are like, this is money. This is like, he's like, this is what I eat all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, logically,
it's an Asian guy, and I think
that's it.
It
Tom.
changes everything.
I cannot be a part of this. I'm not going to be. Look, why do we have to go there?
We eat different food. Okay, Bobby
Turtle
Lee's
soup.
been here. Yeah, turtle soup.
Shark fin soup.
Have you had shark fin soup?
I haven't.
I heard from.
It's supposed to be great, right?
Well, here's the thing. It's very exclusive.
Yeah.
But I've heard that unless you have a taste for it, most people would be like,
I don't think I would like it.
I don't think I would like it either. I like seafood, but I don't think I would like shark fin soup.
No, there's some seafood I don't like.
It's supposed to be like a great honor if somebody serves you shark fin soup,
Maybe it's just a maybe one of the longest practical jokes that's been played on humanity.
Really?
Going back hundreds and hundreds of years, 1,000 years. Give that asshole shark fin soup. Tell him it's good. Tell him it's an honor. Tell him it's an honor.
Tell him it was $1,000.
Hey, can I go to the bathroom?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to take a piss real quick.
Piss break. You peed. I was saying that when I was in New York, I did Brooklyn, and I actually it was like a dream come true to me. I had DJ Premier from Gangstar DJ the show.
Wow. Wait, DJ your... How does that work?
So he does he's basically the first act.
Okay.
So it's like people get seated and there's house music playing.
Uh-huh.
And then I would go either Voice of God or even on some of the shows I came out. Mm-hmm. And so, which is like weird, right? Like the person you came to see walk, and I go, I don't normally do this. And I just gave him an introduction, and then he would do a set. He would do like a 20, 30-minute set. But he would do like involve the audience, do sing-along stuff.
That's great.
One of my favorite things he would do is he would take a very like popular song in hip hop and then strip it down and then break it all the way down to the song that they sampled. So it would be like some 70s.
Oh, but he would go in
like and
piece
then
by piece.
And then put it back together.
Oh,
so
very
just cool stuff like that.
What's his name?
DJ Premier.
DJ Premier.
Yeah, so he did that on a couple of the shows, which was so fun to watch. And then when he was done, he would introduce the first comic and play them on, and it was just like a special thing we did for the New York week.
That sounds really cool.
That was fucking rad.
I'm gonna do on the second leg. I should say if you are interested in seeing my show and you go to officialdavidcross.com to get the dates. That's only the first leg. We're going to do 3. The second leg will be announced, I think, I don't know when this comes out, but
This
shortly.
comes out, 3/13. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be announced by then.
Okay.
So, there's 3 legs. So if there'll be the New York show, because you get people, you put your stuff up, and you're like, hey, how come you're not doing whatever? And you're like, we're coming,
Dude,
we're coming.
do you know how fucking? So I did multiple legs. This tour that I've been on started in August of 21 that I'm still on right now.
Jesus.
And
so how do you you will put out a special? Yes,
I recorded it already.
but you're not gonna air it.
I'm gonna. I don't have. Well, I haven't announced it yet, but I know the release date now.
And then you'll stop touring with the material.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's a long
Yeah. It wasn't.
time.
It wasn't
on the road.
planned, but the funny thing was, so we announced the first leg, because like the first leg, if it's August, I go, let's announce August through
Right.
December.
Right.
And it would say, I mean, we tried to be like always emphasize it. I go, this is the first leg.
You can do
And
it
then-
as many
and
times
then
as
you
you
put there are
want.
more dates coming soon.
know.
And every single time people be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
How come you're not? And you're
Always,
like, man.
always.
Then we just stopped. I just go,
Yeah.
stop. I go, don't even put the thing on there anymore.
I mean, I can say this here, and
Yeah.
I could repeat it.
Yeah.
This is just the first leg. There are going to be 2 others, and people will hear this
Yeah.
and still go on there and see it and go, "How come you're not playing?
Why aren't you in Phoenix?
You know,
Yeah.
Spokane.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll be there.
And we called it World Tour.
Yeah.
And then people would go, I guess North America is the whole world. I go, it's the first leg is North
Yeah.
America. Like the world stuff is coming every day. Can't call us a world tour if you only play North America.
That's
All right.
I know. That's why I play Southern Sudan. That's why, I've got a month in Southern Sudan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sell well at all, and I lose money, but at least I can say world tour.
By the way, what was the last special called?
I'm from the future.
I'm from the future, and I don't want to give it away, but this is I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite things I've always enjoyed about your stand-up is that you are, I call it as a high risk, high reward, where because the most fun part of doing stand-up, I think, is taking a risk, right?
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah.
If you develop like like I'm in the place now where I'm developing trying to come up with new stuff, you can get to a point where you're 15, 20, 30 minutes in of stuff. And if there's not risk involved somewhere, there's something internally you feel, right?
Yeah.
Where you go like, when someone's like, how's it going? You're like, good, right? Good. Like it's getting laughs.
I feel exactly the same way.
Yeah. But one of the things that I consider to be a risk, that because so many people are uncomfortable with it, so many comedians don't do it well, refuse to do it, is they will not take the risk of taking a long time to build a moment.
Oh,
Like any silence makes them uncomfortable. So what happens is they speak faster, they speak louder,
Yep.
and they'll add things that don't help the bit and they don't help the joke, and it's all because of the panic of where is this going?
Absolutely.
Why is there silence?
Yeah.
And your first bit in that, I remember why, because I watched it the
Yeah.
day it came out. Well, I was like, this is like it's such a and your audience knows like this is going somewhere, but there is
Right.
this moment of like, where is this going? Why is this going there? And I don't want to give it away so that somebody can go and enjoy it, but it is a long
It's
build up.
I'm pretty proud of that opening.
Yeah,
bit,
it's fucking fantastic.
And it's the most uncomfortable thing about the whole aspect of it is coming on and not saying hi, not
Yeah.
doing the thing like, hey everybody, whatever, just not addressing in any
Yeah.
way and having to let the thing die down to silence.
Yeah.
And then
And then
titters like
start.
what's he doing? Why is he doing this? And then starting. And my biggest regret forever and ever will be that I didn't get to take that bit out on the road. Like I didn't get to do
Yeah.
that in the places that might be a little bit more, less amenable to my
And more
stuff.
uncomfortable.
And more uncomfortable.
Because
So,
those moments are incredible in a live room.
if I'm not, if people aren't complaining somewhere, then I'm not I've failed in some degree.
I totally agree. Getting the messages or hearing from the promoter, we had a walkout and they just sent this. I'm like, that feels so amazing inside.
I would on 2 tours ago, I could see the walkouts. I had almost every single show. I had people walking out. I had people, some quietly, you know, and I could just see them. And some were very vocal. Some woman tried to throw beer at me in Tampa, and people going, you know, fuck you, motherfucker. And and I had on that tour, I had a code with my tour manager because it got pretty hairy a couple times. And I had, if I asked for a certain beer, then that meant get all my shit out of the green room, put it on this chair, have the exit door there. I'm not going to do an encore. Keep it going like I might do an encore. And then I'm getting out of there. That just meant I'm running to the bus.
Because you could sense where this is going.
Yeah,
like you could sense
yeah. And then the last tour I did for Oh Come On, I was in Pittsburgh, and it was a theater where, you know, sometimes they just supply, it's a union thing or whatever, there's security there. Whether you ask for it or not, there's a security, you know, guy or 2 guys in the front of the stage. And I was, and also, I don't do any, outside of the I'm from the future thing, I don't do any really hard shit up front.
Yeah.
I rarely do. I like ease into it, you know, so that by the time you're in the middle of it, you're like, you know, everybody. I like to think that even if you hate something that I'm saying, at least there was 20 minutes of benign shit that everybody can laugh at, universal stuff. Yeah. And so I wasn't even into the hard shit yet, and I whatever, I don't remember the exact bit, something about Trump or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm at least 20, 25 minutes in, and this guy to the left, security guard to the downstage left, is in front. He's got the windbreaker, black windbreaker with white block security lettering on the back. And he just goes, "This is fucking bullshit. I fucking quit." And he tears off his jacket and he throws it down. He walks up the aisle to the theater doors. And the best thing about it visually is, like, it was in the center, right? The 2 doors, and it's backlit.
Yeah.
So he opens the door, there's a flood of light, and then the door slowly closes, and you can hear him, like, as he's like, "Motherfucker, this," you know, and then, but you also see him yelling and point, but you can't hear him very well because he's
holy shit.
And everyone thought it was a bit, especially where it came in. It was like, you couldn't script it any better. Like, if you were going to script a guy making a scene, and I've had plants before. I've done shows where there are plants in the audience, so everybody was waiting for the rest of the bit. We're waiting for him to come back, and like, wow, that's a great commitment, because he stayed there for 20 minutes pretending he was security.
That's
nuts.
I wish you had that on video. I've thought this before, because sometimes when you're on stage, I've seen the same guys you're talking about, and a lot of times they're seated facing the audience, because what they're supposed to do
these guys were both standing facing the audience.
Yeah, facing the audience. And sometimes, just like, you know, you're in your act and you're just kind of working through it. And as you kind of maybe are transitioning to something, you turn and you'll see the guy. Sometimes you see the guy laughing and you're like, oh, that's kind of, it just kind of, sometimes you see the guy sleeping, you know, sometimes you see the guy gesturing to somebody. But I've always, it's run through my mind, like, what if this guy really didn't enjoy this? Mm-hmm. And you had the greatest example of that. Like, a guy quit his job.
He quit.
God, it's amazing.
He quit. And to my credit, I was like, he's just upset, and I get it. He didn't sign up for this. Don't let him don't let him leave. Let him come back. And, you know.
He's terrible at his job. We can all agree on that.
He did not do well with security. Well, he was going to beat the shit out of me, so he was great at his job. He kicked himself out. He hoisted himself by his own petard.
He dragged himself out
to save me. It was pretty selfless.
Yeah, I bet that you've probably had some epic walkouts, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, over the years too, man. And vocal, you know, fuck you, motherfucker. And the woman in Tampa came down the aisle. She went to throw her beer. It barely like clipped the stage, and she'd throw her beer. And then people in the balcony were kind of yelling at her, and she literally walked. Can I do this?
Yeah, sure.
So she literally walked all the way up this long. It's a theater.
Yeah.
All the way up, both middle fingers, and doing circling like this. Fuck you, motherfuckers! Fuck you, fucking assholes! I didn't all this shit all the way up.
Wow.
So, to the point where it was entertaining.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
Like, it completely fucked up the flow, as you might imagine.
And it's important to have passion. She's a passionate person,
Yeah,
you know?
she believed in, pro-choice or whatever it was.
Or whatever it was, yeah.
Probably
Cheers.
not pro-choice, no.
Cheers. To all pro-choice women.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stuff that I have cut, and I'll just sort of save it for next time. We were talking about this before we started recording.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were recording yet, when we were talking about the kind of sourdough bread aspect of doing stand-up, where by the time, because everything spreads when you're doing a tour, and you experience things on the road that become part of the set. And, and I don't want to do, my sweet spot is like an hour and 15 with an encore too, if the audience wants it. And I have,
You'll come back after 1:15?
Yeah.
And do how long?
I mean, first of all, I know this is self-indulgent and not really, it's self-indulgent, but I'd happily be up there for 2 hours.
God.
Happily. I love it.
Wow.
I love it. And if the audience is loving it, and I'm, pretty good at sussing that out,
Yeah. That's so long to me. What happens is
it is long, but I like it.
Well, yeah, if you're enjoying it, that's true. Yeah. If I tour, so what happens is when I start touring, where I build the hour, right?
Yeah.
And so when I first, I'm like, book me in a bigger place. Mm-hmm. It's like at first I'm hitting like 55,
mm-hmm.
and then a couple months later it's 65, and then as the tour progresses and you drop some stuff that you're like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
But then when I get to like 75. I always feel like, I'll feel like I'm up here too long. Like,
I totally get that, and it's a smart thing to be able to intuit and be on stage. You have to, you can't, you have to separate like, oh, I want to do this, I'm having fun, with, okay, this is about me now. Let's get the fuck off.
And then do you do the thing, because I've heard other people comment, are your encores your best? Like, do you save your best shit for the encore?
No.
Okay.
No. My best shit is what you're,
getting in the
and
show.
I have good stuff that's really fun. It's probably, the stuff I do in an encore is probably more fun, and it's fun for me to do. But it also, something that people don't really consider, understandably, they're not stand-ups, whatever, but sequencing is a really important part, and sometimes it takes a while to get that right. And when you have it sequenced, it's all about flow, and I don't want to interrupt the flow that I have. So these other bits are kind of unto themselves,
mm-hmm.
and so they're either they'll be in the next tour I do, or I'll do it in the encore, but it won't be in the special. But I have so many at this point, because again, and when you put a special out there, it's usually like 75 minutes tops.
Yeah, tops. Yeah, and they're always asking you now. Most like streamers and stuff, they're like, "Can you cut that down?" They want it shorter and shorter. And
so 75 minutes is like the sweet spot, really. And then the rest of it becomes either drop it, as you said, you're, and I have some stuff that I really like that was fun to do, but the flow isn't right. It feels like, it's like a speed bump. I'm talking about this thing too much, or this same style of joke. And so then I got that in my back pocket for later, or it becomes encore, but it's not going to be in the special. So I can do it next tour, and it'll flow better. But I have a couple bits that I really, really enjoy doing that will just be encore, because it's as I said, it fucks with the flow of the show.
Yeah. Pull up the dates. Go to official davidcross.com, and
again, this is just the first leg.
This is the entire tour, as David just said. There will be nothing added. Make that bigger, if you don't mind.
There'll be more Canadian dates. I'll go to Europe. More in America.
Oh yeah. I've done Tarrytown. Yeah, I've done that place. You're going. Yeah, Omaha, Colorado. Phoenix.
Omaha's great.
It is.
I that was the last show on the last tour I did, and I remember.
And you're like surprised, being you're like this.
And doing that thing that is I still do. That's so stupid that I haven't learned my lesson after 30 plus years of just going. Looking at the audience going, oh, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
And being wrong. Or going, this is going to be great. And being wrong. I remember looking out and it was like it was like 80 shows I did. And it was going to be the last one. I'm like, oh man, I'm in Omaha. I'd never been there before.
Yeah.
I'm in this like civic theater thing, whatever it is. Like, and they were great.
Yeah.
Omaha was fucking
There's
awesome.
always surprises.
Loved it.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to go back.
OKC, I had a great time.
I did.
I had that on 2 tours ago when the same thing you're describing. I called my agent. I'm like, why am I going to Springfield, Missouri right now?
Yeah.
And he was like, you don't remember us talking about it? I go, no, I don't want to be here. And it was like the best show of the tour. I was like, oh, you just never know.
I make notes. I do that now. I'll make notes about all of it. The theater, the venue, the city, the show, and the hotel.
I do. Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
I do call immediately and I go, write this down. If I think a venue, if I go, I don't like this venue, don't put this on. Like, make sure this isn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I made that mistake. I don't want to say where it is, but coming up, there's a venue where I found my notes. This is after the tour was booked, and I'm going back and forth with the booking agent, and then I found my notes about this one particular place, which is a city I love, but I was like, not underlined, not this place. Don't go there. It's not good for comedy. There's some places that just aren't good for comedy.
I agree,
and I don't think bookers really get that. And I played a couple, to get ready for this and build material. I went and I did a bunch of the way I used to do it, where I'd go out and have a band open. I'd go to music venues, standing room, and that's when I do like 2.5 hour shows. And that's where Shut Up You Fucking Baby came from, that tour, where I'd have a band open up, and I go right out and then do, and it was just a different thing. And I went out I kind of did that again. It was my wife's idea to go out and build material. Normally I would just do it in Brooklyn, get on my bike or walk to a place. And there were a couple venues that, and I worked with a booking agent who didn't do comedy, who did music because of that, bands playing those kind of rooms. And there were a couple places like, I know you guys don't know this, but this is not good for comedy. It's good for a band, but it's not good for comedy.
1,000%. And I actually feel like, obviously I like music. I enjoy it. I like seeing music. It is a different setup that works better for that.
Yeah.
And there's people that, I don't know, some of the promoters are like, what? I'm like, dude, this is not.
And I can't expect them to know. And sometimes I'd say, like, it wasn't very good because of this. The room, like, oh, well.
They take personal offense. And you're like, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking.
Yeah, it's a thing, just, if you're a stand-up.
Yeah.
And you know it pretty quickly. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, right away.
This
you walk out.
isn't good for stand-up.
So you said you might be starting a podcast, though, soon?
Yes. And Bert was so helpful and informative, and we talked before we started the podcast, and then 2 hours on the podcast, and then like another half hour in his driveway. He was giving me a lot of very helpful advice. And
oh, cool.
And I told him, and I'll say the same thing to you and your wife. I expect you guys to come on and fucking bring it.
Bring the
and teach this old boy.
Do you mean do our
tricks.
thing? Like you'll be like, hey, when we start, you do your thing and take over the show like that.
Yeah, I don't want to ask you any questions.
Yeah.
You do. I'll probably be on my phone.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't hear me on your phone, and you guys just do what you do.
Do what we do. And will we? You do it out of Brooklyn?
Yeah, it'll either be in New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So at some point, I'll let you know, and I'll let everybody know. But
I would love to, man. I'm a huge fan of yours, dude.
all right,
So
you heard it here first.
Yeah, you go see Why Are Blacks So Loud? The tour with special guest Sean Patton. Tickets are available at.
That's in the. I don't want you to give away the parentheticals. You can't. That I don't reveal that till later.
I know
gave it
it's
away.
It's the last quarter of the hour. I've seen it. No, I really can't wait to see it. You really are so fun to watch on stage.
Well, come to the
man.
Austin show. I'm doing. Are you going to be here or are you going to be on tour?
I mean, I'm done touring, so I'm in and out of town for the next 2 months, but then I'm home. But it depends on what the date is. What's the date? Do you know?
I think it's on the earlier side. I think it's in
Pull it
April.
up. If it's in the beginning of April, I can go.
I'm not sure when Austin is. I'll be at the Paramount.
Oh, it's a
Theater.
great spot.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh.
I shot a special there. Oh, there it is, March 29th.
Can you move it? Can you reschedule it? I'm gone.
I'll just have Sean do it, and then I'll come back.
Dude, that's perfect.
Yeah. Will you
no.
be here?
Actually, wait a minute. I am here.
Okay. All right.
I am here. Wait, don't move the date. Did you fucking just move the date?
I did move the date, but it's now Kathy Griffin.
Dude, I am in town. I'm coming.
All right, cool.
I'm
Absolutely. I'll let you and the whole family can come down.
The kids can come?
Yeah.
They're young.
How old?
They're 7 and 4 now. Is that too young?
I think that's perfect. My daughter's 6.
It's a good age.
She gave me some good notes.
Okay.
I have a couple things that you'll appreciate. Some things specific to. She basically the title came from her.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm the
that's
worst daddy in the
worst
world.
daddy in the world.
And she's told me that I'm the worst daddy in the world. and she's not just saying that. She had tests run.
Yeah.
She filled out all the forms. She sent in some blood work. So we know specifically I'm in the running for the top 5.
That's worst dads.
Yeah, in the world.
That's pretty cool.
That includes a guy in the space station. I mean, it's everybody.
My son last night, I watched him hit my oldest hit his little brother, and I was like, "Go to your room," and he was so upset. And he walks in the room. He goes, "You're making my life miserable. So I'm going to make your life miserable." And I go, "Don't you fucking threaten me with
How
that
old?
shit." He's 7. I go, "Don't say that shit." He goes, "I will make your life miserable." And I go, whoa. Chill the fuck out, dude. First of all, I believe you, and don't do that shit, okay? Yeah,
I got to tell you something. I don't want to give away too much from. Well, there's one thing my daughter said to me. We were having this. This isn't in this set, but we were having this epic standoff, and I, unlike my wife, I will not bend. I will not bend. And she was. This was when she was like 4.5, I want to say, and she had this habit. And we were trying to break her of it, where she would kind of snort. And my wife thought it might be allergies and stuff. We took her to doctors, and it was like a psychological thing. And but it was going to fuck up her throat. And so the doctor said, gargle. And he said this also for her benefit too, like gargle with warm salt water, and that'll help, and that'll go away. And she didn't like doing that. And she had this little stepping stool.
Sure, up to the sink, yeah.
And the first time we were, and my wife was in Toronto for the month. We had come back. We were locked up there because of COVID. It's a whole other fucking crazy story. But I got out the second I could. We were up there for half a year.
Jesus
and
Christ.
It was awful. And I just went home with her when we could, the minute we fucking could. And New York had opened back up, but Toronto was locked down. And New York was great, open streets, shit, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. And so we're there by ourselves for the month, and I'm at home in Brooklyn. She's standing on the stool. You got to do it. I don't want to do it. You have to do it. It's all basically, I know that it's to break her of this bad habit she has. That's going to be bad for her, physically. And an hour and 50 minutes, 50, of just standing there where she's not going to do it. An hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours. So she finally does it, and then she's fine. Okay, well, we play. So we go upstate, just 2 of us, and we're gonna go swimming. There's this like country club place in Pennsylvania over the river. We're gonna go swimming. She loves it. Loves swimming. All right, we're gonna go. You gotta gargle with salt water. I don't want to. And I'm not exaggerating. 4 hours where we did not step. We took a break for lunch. We went over to the table, made some lunch, went over to the table, came back on the stepping stool at the sink. Me right next to her. 4 hours.
You have to
She's
gargle.
stubborn as fuck.
And
She
you're like,
is.
you need to gargle.
And she said everything to me. And then at one point, she turns to me. She's like 4.5. And she goes, and she went through every emotion. She just stares at me. She goes, I'm going to cut your throat. Staring at me, a 4.5-year-old. Serious.
Yeah.
Serious. I'm going to cut your throat.
Yeah,
4.5 years old. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
But she eventually gargled it. And then she didn't have to, she did it a handful of times. She stopped snorting. It was all good.
You win.
I won. Yeah. But,
yeah, they say wild shit, dude.
I'm going to, looking me in the eyes.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm going to cut your throat.
Yeah, see, it's not just because I tell too, like my youngest who's 4, he told me, he's like, I wish I could cut your skin off. He told me, and I was like, cool. And
I don't remember saying that to my mom or dad. I don't remember
either.
ever
cut
saying,
your skin off.
I'm going to cut your skin off.
Yeah, I was like, what?
And I'm going to wear your skin suit, your daddy skin suit,
terrible dad.
and parade down the street with your blood and entrails.
Like, hey man, chill the fuck out. Yeah.
I learned it from you.
Well, kids are the worst. No, it's the Worst Daddy in the World tour. Sean Patton, who's hilarious, will be on tour with you.
The great Sean Patton.
Very funny guy. You get your tickets now. This is the first leg. There'll be more legs. A podcast is to come.
Yes.
Very soon from the world of David Cross. And
You'll be on it.
I'm going to be
Christina
on
will
it.
be on
And
it.
I'm going to fucking bring the heat. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely, my
Appreciate
pleasure.
you.
Again, I really, this is a very enjoyable
Listen,
experience.
You're welcome here anytime you want to come.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. See you guys next time.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave. No scripts, a bit of booze, amateur partology. Dirty jokes, raunchy humor, no apologies. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.